What is going on, guys? I have been using a Surface Pro 7 since pretty much when that device first came out. And just a few months ago, my whole Surface Pro 7 world was uplifted, was changed, and was altered with the release of the beta builds of Windows 11. Due to some of the big changes in Windows 11, I think that more portable tablet style touchscreen devices like the Surface Pro 7 are probably the biggest beneficiaries in regards to the changes that were made in Windows 11. So I'm going to give you here today a very quick re-review, so to speak, of a year-old device in the Surface Pro 7 and tell you now, look, there's the Surface Pro 8 out now. It's got thinner bezels. It's got a fast refresh rate. But the Surface Pro 7 is still pretty darn good. I think it still looks great, still performs quite admirably, and with Windows 11, it might have just gotten a brand new lease on life. So the Surface Pro 7 that we are going to be talking about today is my Surface Pro 7. I've been using it for a long time. Like I said, this is the Core i5 model. Of course, that means it's got 4 cores, 8 threads. This is an Ice Lake processor, base clock at 1.5 gigahertz. And performance on this thing isn't, crazy good by any stretch of the imagination, but for a device that is this thin and is this portable and can do all the cool things that a Surface Pro device can do, it's definitely adequate. But since, of course, we're here to talk about software, I'm not really going to spend a ton of time on the hardware. Instead, let's just jump into the operating system itself. If you don't know, if you are uninitiated in the world of Windows 11, of course, this is going to look quite radically different to you. And I am just simply recording the screen of my Surface Pro 7 here. That is what we were doing. So everything you see here, that was loud, is going to be captured directly off of my Surface Pro 7. So this is Windows 11. So you're going to notice, first off, the taskbar down here. Everything is now centered. In Windows 10, your start menu was all the way over here on this side. But now in Windows 11, everything is centered. Your icons are centered. Your start menu is centered. When you hit that start button, you're greeted by a start menu that looks radically different as well from what you're used to. The live tiles are gone. Instead, you have icons that you can pin there as you please, as well as recommended items down here at the bottom, which are recent apps and recent files as well. Now, of course, you can still access all your apps by touching or clicking on that All Apps button, and then you have your list of applications there as well. So that's actually fine as far as I care. I think it looks okay. Now, if you liked the live tiles, I'm sorry, they are gone. But there are more changes here as well. Let's look further to the right of the taskbar. You'll notice that things look a little bit different here. That's pretty much the same. But if we touch the battery button, we're going to get this little pop-up thing here that has some quick settings, your brightness and your volume. This is very Chrome OS looking to me, much like how the start menu is very Chrome OS looking. Look at the nice animations as things come off and on screen. I think everything looks really quite nice. Your notification center with your calendar and everything looks, again, similar look. Everything's rounded. Everything's kind of see-through, clear. And generally, things look pretty good. On the left side, if you swipe in, you have a widgets panel, which I won't use. I don't use. There's not enough widgets there that do much for me. And if you don't use Microsoft Edge, here's a big problem, because if you click on any of these things, it will open it in Edge, regardless of what browser you are defaulted to. It is no respecter of browser preference, unfortunately. If we dive into the settings application here, everything's laid out in a pretty logical way. And once you kind of get used to it, I think it's a positive change from Windows 10. Now, there are problems here because not everything looks like this. For instance, if you click on more sound settings, unfortunately, you get this layout, which looks so strange now. This looks so off and odd when compared to the rest of Windows 11. And of course, control panel is still here as well. These things are quite disappointing to me. I'd like to see these things at least look like Windows 11, let alone being here at all. But I digress. That is probably the worst part about this. I didn't mention that if you hit your start menu and then just start typing, you'll get a search thing that pops up as well, just like we've had in Windows for quite some time, and it works great. The file browser has gotten a refresh as well to match this new theme, and I find that actions like resizing it work really well with the touchscreen. Moving it around works really well with the touchscreen. We also have a new menu if you hover over the maximize minimize button, and you get these snap layouts where you can click on one of these squares and it will put it in that spot, so that if you're doing something like using your web browser here, and let's mouse over there, let's put that there and that there, it just basically makes the snap layout that we've had in the past much easier to use versus just simply dragging it to the edge, which does still work. Now, in regards to touch screens here, which is something important with the Surface Pro 7, a cool thing here is that if I disconnect my keyboard like so the keyboard is now off, you will see that there is now a keyboard icon in the lower right hand corner, and if you hit that button, you're going to get this brand new floating keyboard. And I think that this keyboard is a step in the right direction in terms of appearance, but also in terms of performance. You can change this thing over to the traditional layout, which is larger and adds a few more keys. There's also the small layout, which you can kind of stick into a corner and thumb type with as well. You basically just have some options here now that all, I think, look pretty good and perform pretty well. But maybe my favorite thing about this new keyboard is this icon right here, the microphone icon, which is a new, better dictation software for Windows 11. And if we select a text box here, let's go ahead and do this. Shane Craig Surface Duo 2 review. And we could go ahead and hit enter there and be checking out some content on my YouTube channel, which I don't think has actually propagated no, there it is. Okay, so we are on Google already. And of course, punctuation and things like that also do work well. I find this to be a really nice feature to have because I use speech to text on my mobile devices all the time, and I love having it working really well here on Windows 11. So Windows 11 does run really well here on my Surface Pro 7. And if we look at some Geekbench scores, it might actually run better than it did on Windows 10. You can ignore my terrible scribbling here, my handwriting actually done with my Surface Pen here on my Surface Pro 7. A Geekbench score here on a Surface Pro 7 just running Windows 10, that was your score, 1168 and 3981. On my year-old i5 running Windows 11, well, my scores went up on both. Now, this isn't a huge jump by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, performance is like way better or even noticeably better, but performance has improved a little bit. Battery life has remained about the same for me, 4 or 5 hours of screen time, one good solid hard day's work, and I could probably kill this thing, but that's the same as it was before, so no real change there. There have been a few bugs here, though, on Windows 11. Bear in mind, I am using the beta build, and some weird things have gone on here in general, like the fact that it's supposed to show larger icons on my taskbar here when I go into tablet mode, but that just isn't happening at the moment. So there's been some weird stuff. I've also had my touchscreen just stop working and have to reboot. Windows Hello has been working really well over the last couple of weeks, but before that it was really spotty. It would wake up and it just wouldn't work. It would sit there and look at me and it would give me an error, and I'd have to use my PIN to unlock or reboot to get Windows Hello to work again. Sometimes when I'm plugged in charging, the charging icon down here at the battery does not actually reflect that I'm charging. That's a little bit weird. And at least once my audio stopped working. So these are some bugs I have experienced, but I think the experience has still been all overall better on Windows 11 than it was on Windows 10, just because the interface looks so good. It's so smooth when you open up these things. Moving around the settings, moving around the interface is so snappy and so fast, and it looks so good to my eye. I really do like it. Now you got to keep in mind that the Surface Pro 8 does exist. And with the Surface Pro 8, you get 120 Hertz refresh rate on the screen, which is really nice to have. That's a great thing to have around. You get smaller bezels, you get a replaceable solid state drive, you get a new pin, the slim pin instead of this pin, granted that is sold separately as usual, a new keyboard case which has a little bit less flex and is apparently better. Granted, I do think that the old keyboard is not perfect, but it's still a really good mobile keyboard, especially considering how thin it is. But the new one is meant to be better, and it does charge the pin as well. So there's a lot of good stuff there for the Surface Pro 8. But my thought is this: if you see the Surface Pro 7 for a good price with this fresh new coat of paint called Windows 11, I think it is absolutely a viable purchase in 2021 and something you could continue using for years to come. Guys, stay tuned for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.